it could be very well been for security reasons, like a bulletproof kind of.
Come on, really?
Yes.
Like James Bond, like?
I'm very experienced with those types of hats.
Bulletproof.
You don't wear them low where you cannot see. You wear them if the Secret Service has said that this is important. Predictable is preventable.
Well, but then wouldn't everybody be in hats then? If that was the case, like wouldn't Donald Trump be wearing a hat as well?
Donald Trump does not wear a hat. That's his style. He's very, he does not change for certain fashion, and that is his style, even though it would be protective of him. But I could see that Melania, because she is our beloved First Lady now, and she has always been beloved to me, she deserves protection.
So bulletproof, how? What do you think about that?
I don't know. I'm thinking more like, Odd Job for James Bond. How he can take the hat off and just quickly be like, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I can see that.
Yeah, she's bad.
I think it's definitely. It's some sort of a weaponized thing. Not as offensive, but it need be an offensive.
I got you, so you wouldn't ricochet off that.
Absolutely. So much more to do here on Inauguration Day. It's James Flippin and Noam Laden in for Greg Kelly on The Greg Kelly Show.
The 77 WABC's Staten Island law firm of Julie and Gentili chime time is 1:59.
And Julie and Gentili, helping people just like you for over 39 years. Walk with confidence. Call 718-816-0005 or visit aglawnyc.com.
This is New York's talk leader, the crown jewel of talk radio. WABC New York and 107.1 WLIR Hampton Bays. News first at 59 past the hour. 77 WABC News starts now.
26 degrees and mainly sunny on this Monday, January 20th. Good afternoon. I'm Lisa Ritchie. President Trump is giving his first address as the 47th President of the United States. Trump said he will be signing executive orders that will take action on immigration.
Today I will sign a series of historic executive orders. With these actions, we will begin the complete restoration of America and the revolution of common sense.
They include reinstating his Remain in Mexico policy. Trump is starting his second term in office. Meanwhile, immigrants living in Florida are concerned as President Donald Trump signs his first executive orders and threatens mass deportations. Miami-Dade Commissioner Marlene Bastien says the 300,000 Haitians living in South Florida are especially uneasy and distressed.
This community is on edge. This community is in fear.
Governor Ron DeSantis says he wants Florida to lead the nation in enforcing Trump's mass deportation plans. A number of New York Republicans are in Washington, D.C. today to see Donald Trump be sworn in as the nation's 47th president. That includes Staten Island Congresswoman Nicole Maliotakis, who talked to Trump just last week about New York-related issues.
Salt relief for our middle class because, and he understands this as a New Yorker, but they are being taxed to death by our mayor and our governor, and he wants to provide some relief from the federal government, below state and local taxes, and the congestion pricing, that it hurts our economy.
About 300 members of New York State's Republican Party made the trip. Hamas has freed 3 hostages in a ceasefire deal with Israel. Mark Mayfield has more.
IDF officials say the 3 Israeli women appeared to be in good health after being released from captivity as part of a ceasefire deal in Gaza. Sunday's release is part of the first phase of the agreement between Israel and Hamas. Over the next 6 weeks, it will involve the release of 33 Israeli hostages in exchange for 1,900 Palestinian prisoners. At least 2 Americans are among the hostages expected to be released in the coming days. I'm Mark Mayfield.
Indictments are pending for 2 men charged in the kidnapping of a 14-year-old girl from Long Island. A second man, 47-year-old Bunny Knight, has been arrested, charged with rape and child endangerment. It followed the arrest of Francis Burkheit, who's also charged with rape and kidnapping. The Patchogue teen, missing for 25 days, was found earlier this month on Burkheit's boat. Charges have been dropped against the former New York lieutenant governor after the death of a witness. Liz Radabali has more.
Federal prosecutors have dropped their bribery and fraud case against Democrat Brian Benjamin after a collaborating witness died. The witness was Harlem-based real estate developer Gerald Migdal, who pleaded guilty in 2022 for arranging fake campaign donations for Benjamin's city comptroller efforts. a campaign that Benjamin ultimately lost. He resigned from his role as lieutenant governor following his arrest in April of 2022. I'm Liz Radabali for 77 WABC News. TikTok is back online in the U.S. after going dark for about 16 hours, from Saturday evening to Sunday morning. TikTok said President-elect Donald Trump had assured its leaders they would face no penalties for continuing to provide Americans access to the app. It added that the company plans to work with the incoming administration to preserve that access. Want to meet Sid? Now's your chance. Come to the studios and be a part of Sid and Friends Live on January 28th. That's right, a special live Sid and Friends in the morning show to benefit Shriners Children's Hospital. There will be a special meet and greet with Sid, including a photo op. All participants get a Love to the Rescue blanket and other special gifts. For a donation to WABC Radio Foundation of $225 to benefit Shriners Children's, you can come to the WABC studios, hang out with Sid, and watch Sid and Friends in the morning live. Who knows who else might be there? Curtis Lewa, Frank Morano. Only 40 people can fit in Studio 77. So if you want to come to the WABC studios and watch a show live to benefit Shriners Children's Hospital, go to WABCRadio.com/live show. Donate and hooray. See you at the station on January 28th. WABCRadio.com/live show. 77 WABC News time is 2:04. Sports and weather coming up next.
Everything is on your phone. Now your ID is too with the New York Mobile ID. The app provides a contactless way to verify your identity while protecting your personal information. Get yours today at dmv.ny.gov. This message is brought to you by the New York State Department of Motor Vehicles.
77 WABC, the crown jewel of talk radio. Heard worldwide in 173 countries and all 50 states. WABC is committed to live and local radio 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. See what 77 WABC can do for you and your business. Call 929-552-7175 and advertise with 77 WABC. 77 WABC News. Just the facts.
77 WABC chime time is 2:05. In sports this afternoon, the Knicks are playing the Atlanta Hawks, and later tonight, the Islanders skate against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Former White Sox manager Jeff Torborg is dead at the age of 83. Torborg spent 10 seasons in the MLB as a catcher before becoming a manager. He led the South Siders from 1989 until 1991. He was named the AL Manager of the Year after leading the team to a 94-68 record in 1990. More forecast for the Red Sox this afternoon, mainly sunny skies, but a high of only 28 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy and bitterly cold, the low down to 13 degrees. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, continued cold with a high of 23, and of course, the real feels even lower in the teens. For Wednesday, Monday, sunny skies and a high around 23 degrees. We have 26 degrees and mostly clear skies outside of our Midtown studios right now. Wall Street markets are closed today for the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. I'm Lisa Ritchie. Remember, the news never stops at WABCRadio.com.
Audio Network's own Roger Stone, a guy who I know was excited to take in the speech. Roger, what did you think of that speech today from Trump?
Extraordinary, decisive, bold, encouraging for the country's future. Now, I haven't had time to digest all of it, but at the same time, vintage Donald Trump. America is about to enter a golden age of peace, prosperity, security, and justice, and Donald Trump laid it out today.
And you saw, he's already going to go back to the White House. He's going to, sign a bunch of executive orders today. There's no messing around. I mean, all that work he was doing in Mar-a-Lago over the last couple months has really led him to this day, hasn't it?
He's done an extraordinarily intense job on this transition, both in terms of personnel and policy. He's really dug in now to not just the first, but the second and third levels of the new administration to ensure that he is selecting people who will not try to delay or derail or dilute his agenda. And yes, there's been a lot of forethought in terms of executive orders to undo a lot of the damage that Joe Biden has done to the country in the 4 years that he was there.
Roger Stone, our guest here on the Greg Kelly Show. So some of those executive orders, Roger, are pertaining to the southern border, also what Trump described as an energy emergency here in the U.S. I'm just going to put it to you this way. In terms of the what, the how, the why, what made it so that the Trump transition team this time around was so much more successful or so much more capable going into the second term?
Well, I think candidly, Trump came to the presidency from the world of business, not the world of politics. And I think he reasonably thought in the beginning that, well, there's two teams, the Republicans and the Democrats. The Republicans are with me, the Democrats are the opposition. He didn't really understand that in Washington there is a duopoly, the establishment, that really controlled both parties until his hostile takeover of the Republican Party in 2016 at the presidential level. And I think he's going to be an even greater president in his second term than he would have been had he been rightfully reelected in 2020.
How quickly can he really seal the border, right? That's one of the things he wants to do right away, where there's no migrants coming across.
And Tom Homan is someone I know well. He's a good friend, someone I have enormous confidence in. He believes it can be done almost immediately. In fact, the border funds had reduced to almost a trickle by the end of Trump's presidency. I believe they'll be able to seal the border very quickly. And look, Dwight Eisenhower, one of our greatest presidents, doesn't get enough credit because he was so low-key, but he deported 1.3 million illegals in the first 2 years of his presidency. No reason to believe, therefore, that it cannot be done. And I think Tom Homan is going to focus on the most dangerous criminals, the most dangerous terrorists that Joe Biden has let into the country.
Roger Stone, our guest here on the Greg Kelly Show. So, Roger, in terms of kind of building that political coalition and getting things done in Washington the way you referred to it can be a little bit difficult sometimes, messy, challenging, not just cut and dry. There's this push now to potentially do away with the concept of birthright citizenship as it pertains to the 14th Amendment. And there's a lot of people who say that's a fight that potentially go all the way to the Supreme Court. Do you think that's the way the president is thinking about this at this point? And how do you see that shaking out?
Well, President, I do think people recognize the danger of this influx of illegals. And clearly you have a business in which people cross our northern and southern borders illegally so that the child born here can get the rights and benefits, particularly the benefits, of being a U.S. citizen. I think the people are fed up with that. I think that the president realizes that when it comes to the politicians in Washington, if you can't make them see the light, you've got to make them feel the heat. And the president has a great ability to mobilize this broad coalition he's built that quickly Democrats like Democrat Rod Blagojevich, former Democrats like Tulsi Gabbard. We think he has a broad mandate. This was not a close election. The people are with him, and they demand change.
So Roger Stone, who we're chatting with here. Roger, I've got two questions. One that's sort of more based on the logistics of the day, and then one that gets a little bit into the fashion that we saw there. But in terms of logistics, a little bit conspiratorial maybe, but, given July 13th, some people have said that it's very possible that the inauguration ceremony was moved indoors, not just because of the bone-chilling cold, but because of the security challenges that come with having an outdoor event. Obviously, it was not that long ago that we saw Trump get shot. So to what extent do you think that played into official plan?
I really don't have any inside information, but I expressed my own personal concerns on the Red Apple Audio Network show that I do only weeks ago about the president taking the oath of office on the portico in the wide open space, particularly in light of these drones that we've seen across the country. So I had a concern about his safety. Now, that would sound like a conspiracy theory if there hadn't been, as we know for certain, two assassination attempts on the president. So, quite the purpose of security very badly in the attempts today.
So let's talk fashion for a moment, because you're an icon yourself. First of all, what are you wearing? What did you wear for the inauguration today?
Right now.
Watch California burn, right? And as we watch Gaza burn, and as we watch Ukraine, burn, and Congo and Haiti burn, wars burn, right? What does it mean for us to become firefighters, friends? And as we go into this holiday, observing Dr. King's work, I think the only thing that can dismantle hatred is love. The only thing that can break through the darkness is light. The only thing that can quench these fires is the fiercest love of all.
What does that mean in practical terms?
Yeah, thank you. Well, first of all, y'all, let's stop acting like love is some nammy-pammy, wimpy ethic. Love made people walk almost a year to work to get the right to ride on the bus. Love made teenagers sit at lunchroom counters and get their head bashed in with ketchup bottles and napkin boxes to desegregate that moment. Love makes people lay down their comfort. Love made people do die-ins in the street to protest the onslaught of Black death at the hand of the police. Love makes people go marching in the freezing cold so there can be a free Palestine and the hostages can be released. What I'm trying to tell you is love is inconvenient. Okay? Fierce love is courageous. And the most love cannot bear lies. Some Christians get it wrong because, Paul's all love demands truth. Because the truth is what will set us free.
Here we are at this strange confluence of events, Dr. King's holiday and the Trump inauguration. The easy thing to say is King would have been a staunch member of the resistance even after the re-election. More complicated might be to say King was an advocate for poor and working class people across the lines of color, and working class people have increasingly been trending Republican, including 30% of black men under 45 voting for Trump this time, mostly for economic reasons, twice as much as last election, while upper income people trend increasingly Democratic. Both Joe Biden and Steve Bannon have railed against the tech industrial oligarchy in the last week. Also, I have plenty of black callers to my show who are skeptical of mass immigration because low-income immigrants have always been advantaged ahead of them from whatever ethnic group by employers and government policy for rising into prosperity. So do you have a theory on what Dr. King would be saying today? Or is it so hypothetical that it's just a stupid question?
Two things. One is King might reiterate love correcting everything that stands against love. And I'm paraphrasing that, so I'm going to say justice correcting everything that stands against love. That we can't be talking about love and there's injustice. When we're protesting, we say no justice, no peace. I'm going to say no justice, no love, no justice. They go together. And justice is clear. We know what it looks like, so let's not pretend. Let's do that. And I think the second thing is that he would remind us that we're inextricably connected. That was his way of talking about Ubuntu. I am human because you're human on the planet. We're inextricably connected, woven in a garment of humanity. I can't be fully who I am until you're fully who you are. Even the Republicans, damn it, we're connected to them too. But I think because we're connected, we're responsible to tell each other the truth. So I'm going to go back there. We don't pretend like this craziness is truth. We don't pretend like it's not crazy. We don't pretend like the injustice is just. We don't pretend like the bigotry is good. We don't pretend like the economy works. It does not work. So we have to be honest about it and call each other into account to build a just society.
Please thank Reverend Dr. Jackie Hillary.
We'll be back in a moment with more of A Burning House, MLK, and the American Experiment. Stay with us.
Copyright. No music.
Turn right on Van Dam Street, then turn left.
Today informed on WNYC.
Gasolina and benzina.
What does the future hold for federal workers? Donald Trump's changes are a top priority. That raises questions for millions of people on the federal payroll and a lot of local businesses. If you're a federal worker, what do you want to know
West
about the
Midtown
work
Tunnel,
you do?
toward
Join
Manhattan.
us, we'll explore a special call-in where we'll explore the anxieties and challenges ahead and we want to hear from you.
On WNYC.
Support for WNYC comes from the Town Hall, presenting the Voice of Whitney, a symphonic celebration, an immersive multimedia experience featuring Pops of Color, conducted by Sean Mays, Saturday, February 15th at 8 p.m. More at townhall.org.
This is Allison Stewart, host
Like, share, subscribe.
In the South, in the United States, and abroad. You know, his definition of power was expansive and inclusive. Yeah. Today's theme
Like, share, subscribe.
President's remarks of America being a burning house and how his efforts to bring more people into that burning house, those people being recognized and treated as full citizens of this country. How much of that power
Ma
is
because-
dependent on white America? And
Mabikasti, like, share, subscribe.
that points in the direction of equality, justice, and a true democracy.
Well, I did quite a bit of reading, not the popular reading, to Dr. King getting ready for today. And the lives, legacies, and histories of white America.
My God, check the house.
That so much of black history is not taught because the legacy of blackness in this country, the trials, tribulations, and the triumphs are also linked to white America
Yeah.
as well. We don't
Prophet Joshua, blessing all.
here from outer space. And so, for King to understand, our advancement is not just dependent on, but it has to be in conjunction with a certain enlightenment and understanding from white America if we're ever to progress. Yes, we are all Americans. Some have more mandatory prefixes than others, but our lives and our livelihoods are intertwined.
Yeah, you know, we all know that he's an inspirational leader, a fighter.
Turn left on Hunters Point Avenue. Then turn right on 31st Place.
Mabikasti. Rap, rap, gas. Skobiam Zalek. Skobiam Zlek. Skobiam Zlek. Skobiam Zlek. Skobiam Zlek.
That shouldn't disappoint us, will disappoint us, because we shouldn't be disappointed by the fact that racism is deeply profitable in America. And it is long as that is the case, I think if we think about
Skobiam Zlek. Skobiam
Dr.
Zlek.
King did, I think sometimes we can become almost enamored by the public display of, like, let's say, a march, right? And then we see people
Like, share, subscribe.
marching every so often over and over again, but not thinking about the power dynamic behind the march. It wasn't simply that people marched, they marched to places and on people for which marching actually meant something. So, you know, when folks did the March on Washington, that march was incredibly important because that's what the Congress marched on. People were getting proud of things, people were
Like, share, subscribe. America, baby. America. Charlie Choo Choo Train. Charlie Choo Choo Train.
Now let's back up for a minute, Jeff, because we have, right now, we're talking about
Sally's Cabin.
Wakanda. It was Apple CEO Tim Cook. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg. It was ex-owner Elon Musk.
Jeff Bezos
Jeff
from
Bezos
Amazon.
there. So,
Mhm.
like, there's been kind of a coming together, if you will, of the broader tech sector and Trump. And a lot of that could just be that he's the guy with the keys to the kingdom now, right? Like, he's going to be the guy in power, so you want to cozy up the power. However, you seem to think that maybe Trump does actually deserve some credit, or you're at least kind of being, well, you're a fan of this move with TikTok. What do you think he was able to do? Like, do you think just by him extending the window to 60 to 90 days, it's like, all right, give you some time.
90 days, and he said there would be 50% American ownership and then 15%, I guess, assuming it's in China, whatever it is. The ByteDance company that owns them will have to sell off some of it to an American entity. So we'll have to see if that happens. And if it doesn't, I guess maybe in 90 days it really goes away. But this was a moment, and I think that not enough was made of it, that 170 million Americans go onto TikTok on an average day. So you were not taking it away from a small population of Americans.
That's true.
170 million Americans. Think how many people, you know.
No, it's a lot. It is absolutely massive. I mean, when you think about back in the day, there's only several channels on TV. How many people were turning on television?
Zuckerberg is a national security threat because he's collected way more information from me than TikTok does. All that TikTok knows, because I haven't produced any of my own videos, I am a casual streamer. I watch the whole thing, is that they know I like Judge Judy, I like dog stories.
The only thing I worry about is that Facebook is like, oh, this guy likes to buy peanuts, and TikTok is like, oh, this guy can die from peanuts. Right, well, that's true. So anyway, he's going waiting. I'm James Woodman, filling in here on the Greg Kelly Show. We're going to have a chance to take your calls. 1-800-848-9622. Reacting to the speech, reacting to the day, the inauguration of President Donald J. Trump, the nation's 46th and 47th president.
Are you serious? Are you serious? This is it, Pansit.
President Trump is at the inaugural luncheon.
And I would think he's pretty hungry because he got to the Capitol Rotunda for his inauguration for, taking the oath of office. That was at like 11:20. It's now 2:30. It's 3 hours later, unless there's like something going on in the car ride, but there's no car ride. He's just walking from place to place.
Yeah, so he's got like no chance to sneak in a little granola bar or
Cheeseburger.
something.
Ooh, yeah.
That's a good idea.
McDonald's cheeseburger.
All right, I'm gonna. He did get it.
Oh, he got a Diet Coke?
Yeah, he got a special Diet Coke made, a commemorative Diet Coke.
Oh, really?
Every 4 years for Inauguration Day, Coke makes a special presidential Coke bottle. Like it says, like, in honor of the inauguration of, yes. But this year, for the first time ever, they presented a Diet Coke.
Right.
Commemorative, because, Trump's a big fan of Diet Coke.
Yeah. It's supposed to be horrible for you, Diet
So they
Coke,
did a
right?
Diet Coke. It's not like regular Coke is any better.
No, but apparently Diet Coke's worse than regular Coke.
You think that's
I think
true?
I've heard that, yeah.
No.
Yes. Like again, this is just rumors connected with like migraines and all kinds of stuff.
Of course, it's all alleged. We'd love your business if you wanted to advertise. But don't need to.
Brought to you by Coca-Cola.
But I'm just going to text Greg here.
Okay.
That maybe we can get Trump some McDonald's burger.
Yeah, because
he might be hungry.
You can't really eat when everybody's
Go to
watching you eat,
Trumpy.
right?
No,
The cameras are trained on them.
That's the thing. Like, he's not even going to get a chance. They don't have any food out in front of him right now. They're doing like a prayer or something like that. All right. Well, anyway, I think that's the important stuff in terms of whether or not we can get this guy fed. And everybody, I'm sure everybody involved in this has probably got to be thinking, can we get some food here? I mean, this has been going on long enough.
Yeah, well, I see the waiters are ready to go. So if they just finished that benediction, they could get some food in their stomach.
I just have to say, and you wanted to mention that, of course, we've been talking a lot about the fallout from the last 4 years, the various investigations into Trump, all that he kind of overcame and getting back to the White House, this kind of thing. But what about the January 6th pardons?
Yeah, so
you were seeing a news
like
alert.
There'll be, President Trump, what we're being told is that there'll be these pardons for the defendants charged in the January 6, 2021, whatever you want to call it, riot attack.
Thank you.
On the U.S. Capitol.
January 6, 2021.
I never know what stakes I'm going to get yelled at no matter what. Including the commuting of the prison sentences of hundreds of supporters who've been convicted of violent attacks against law enforcement. And this is apparently bigger than what was initially expected. So you have Joe Biden on his way out giving pardons or preemptive pardons to Fauci and a bunch of other people.
This had to happen. I mean, let's just put to the side really quickly the Fauci and the Mark Milley ones, right? Because I think that those are 100% definitely justified in terms of, looking at those people and saying, what did they do wrong to suggest that they should get a pardon? Like, that's kind of weird. But in terms of the January 6ers and what that is or whatever it wasn't, to have a preemptive pardon issued for any of the people that investigated it, apparently? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Noam, but that's what they're basically saying. Biden basically said in one of his last acts of power as president that whoever it was that seemingly investigated the events of January 6th needs to get a pardon.
Yeah.
What are you pardoning them for?
Well, maybe they're worried about something being uncovered that will come out about it.
I would guess so, but I mean, if you're looking at it from the perspective of Trump, and if you know that there's something you feel should be investigated as a potential crime or wrongdoing regarding to the official response or lead up to January 6, 2021, then it's a no-brainer that all these people have to be free. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, it doesn't say every single January 6th defendant.
No,
right?
But he plans, the president plans to extend full pardons to his supporters who were not charged of engaging in the January 6th riot, what do you call it? Insurrection. What's the word you use?
Snuck that one in there. The events of January 6th, 2021.
Yeah,
Thank you.
So he's kind of doing the same thing. That's almost like a preemptive pardon for those folks in case they do get charged.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens with the January 6th defendants. But one of the more controversial aspects of the news that broke today is the fact that Biden issued these preemptive pardons for people like Fauci, people like General Mark Milley. Again, people who have not even been charged for the crime, as far as we are aware of. So this whole concept of whether or not a president can issue a preemptive pardon is interesting from like a constitutional law perspective. And it's certainly possible
Nobody
that,
invited
just
to
like
the
the 14th Amendment
inauguration.
stuff and
What's up
birthright
with that?
citizenship, that preemptive pardons could make their way all the way to the Supreme Court. Let's check in with Judith in Brooklyn, as she has some thoughts on the concept of a preemptive pardon. Judith.
Martin
Thank you,
Luther
James.
King.
Before I go into what I want to say, Noam Layden, right? Yeah?
That's right.
Okay. You need an award for when you had that, what's her name? Oh my God. Oh, John Lennon's, whatever, girlfriend.
Yoko Ono?
Yoko Ono. Right. Do you remember when you played that thing a while ago on Sid's show with Yoko Ono? I forgot you harmonized something else. I can't tell you. I was laughing where the tears were rolling down. You can't. It was hysterical. I wish you'd find it to play that. It's like award winning.
Oh, really? Well, that's nice of you to say. Thank you.
We're going to have to get that, put it on the website now.
It's great. It's great. It's great. It's not. It was unbelievably great. One of the best I've ever heard. So funny, not even fun. It was like too much. Okay.
And Noam actually, believe it or not, has a better singing voice than Yoko Ono.
Yes, I do. You want me to sing like? I can sing.
You mean you can sing? You mean you can sing better than Dominic Carter? Okay, listen.
I don't know about that.
I'm curious what Judge Weinberg's going to say, but I asked my husband, who happens to be an attorney, this morning, and I told him about these preemptive pardons. And can you imagine? He says he starts laughing. He says, "What are you talking about? It's unconstitutional because you could go and preemptively, supposedly pardon all these illegals, also thousands, whatever. The thing is ridiculous. These people have not been prosecuted. I'm talking about the committee, like Liz Cheney and all the they weren't prosecuted yet. They weren't found guilty of anything yet. Therefore, this has to be contested and definitely annulled, and you could definitely go after them. The whole thing is ridiculous.
But don't
and
you
let me
think,
just
Judith,
add one more thing.
Yeah, let me ask you something, Drew. Let me follow up, though. Don't you think they thought of that, though, before they gave them these preemptive pardons, that they had to work out legally whether this was actually something that would hold?
They'll try anything. They'll try anything. Now, you know what? Let me tell you, these are DEI people. I have no idea what they think, but I wonder what Judge Weinberg would say about this. I'm sure he'll say something to this. It's unconstitutional. It makes no sense. They weren't prosecuted. They weren't found guilty of anything. What are they being pardoned for? It's one thing that, like found guilty, whatever, so Hunter got pardoned. Okay. Which is ridiculous, too. But I want to say one more thing I have to say. I'm a tremendous Trump supporter for a good reason, and Melania to me is beautiful and gorgeous. But what she wore today was so disappointing to me, I can't even tell you. I was so disappointed. I mean, my goodness, they couldn't make a hat that you could see her face more. She's a beauty. Her coat was just plain. She kind of looked to me like a matron or a guard or a Salvation Army, but it's, I don't know.
Well, you know what, and first of all, great call. Thanks for contacting us and making the call. It was good to hear from you and get your thoughts on all that. I just want to say this. There's a few things I have in terms of responses to her call. Thoughts on the preemptive pardon thing. And then also a thought on the hat, okay? I think Melania's hat was much more of a message than anybody is trying to acknowledge or whatever. She is saying, you know what? You never see my beauty. You never want to acknowledge that there's anything special or fun or unique or uplifting about me. I'm going to block it off from you. I'm going to close myself off from you, and that's what I've been doing over the last 4 years.
Right. Well, and screw you, by the way, for the first 4 years I was in the White House, where you ignored me, you made fun of my Be Best campaign.
Yeah.
And so now, you know what? You're not going to get anything from me. I'm going to pull the hat down. I'm going to spend lots of time in Mar-a-Lago. I'm going to be here in New York with my kid who's at NYU.
Yeah. And then as far as the preemptive pardon, I don't know how well it's going to work out for Liz Cheney, let's say, because she's only, 65 or something like that? Relatively young woman. Right. But I think for Biden and for Fauci, it's about buying them time. Because if you kind of just continue to push this down the road, and you figure that the constitutional crisis that gets into, like, is the DOJ allowed to prosecute somebody who's received this presidential pardon, goes to the Supreme Court, preemptive pardon question. It's all this, legalese and educational scholarship type stuff and debate, obviously with real world consequences. But I think it's just about pushing it down the road. We already saw Biden not get prosecuted for keeping documents next to his Mercedes in his apartment or home in Delaware or whatever, and an office in Chinatown in D.C. because he's a kindly old man. No jury would convict. We can't possibly hold him responsible for this.
I think there's more to it than that. I think that President Trump won't undo those preemptive pardons because If he does, then if he does preemptive pardons on the way out, maybe the next guy undoes his.
So, in other words, do you think that the preemptive aspect of it is not significant?
Yeah, I think it's a pardon. That's really what's going to come down. They're going to leave him alone.
The one for his son was, right?
Yeah.
His son
was
had to face the music. He got convicted. He bought a gun while he was high. You can't do that. And he got convicted. And his daddy was like, well, I don't like this. He's my son. I don't want him to have to go to prison. And I'm going to use my power totally hypocritically to save you. But how are you I don't understand how you're doing. What did Fauci do wrong? What are you pardoning him for?
Well, Biden would tell you that he's worried that he's just going to go after him for something.
For what?
Right. Well, you have to have some
what?
basic legal reason to go after
in essence, you're totally admitting that you think these people did bad things.
That you still find something on them.
Because it's not even just a matter of oh, well, thou doth protest too much. If I'm suggesting maybe you should have something to be worried about. And I don't have anything to be worried about. What do you mean? Yeah. Again, that's potentially going on the side of paranoia. You have something to hide, all this kind of stuff. I get that. But in this case, it's a very, very basic legal document. I'm pardoning this person. Pardoning him for what?
Right.
You have to pardon somebody for an offense. Right. It's not just, wasting all our time during the COVID hearings or masks.
Right.
It's this stuff that, again, to get into the Fauci stuff, being untruthful about how much grant money went to the Wuhan lab. Right, and potentially lying about that on the email back chain and stuff
I think it's an absolute admission of that, but at the same time, maybe it's just essentially saying, okay, President Trump, look the other way, because even if you go after him for this, he's got this preemptive pardon. Move on. Go after Nancy Pelosi. We didn't give her a preemptive pardon. I'm sure you'll find something on her.
That's the best part. And also, I just want to mention that, of course, Greg Kelly admonished us for this. We don't want to do too much of this, but just looking at the news, I couldn't help but and Channel 7 wants to note that although Trump vowed unity in his speech, he just went after Pelosi and Liz Cheney. So I guess he violated his concept of unity.
Wait, this was after the speech? I didn't hear this.
Well, he had that. He had those comments. We didn't actually listen to him, where he addressed the crowd. And I guess in some way he went at Liz Cheney or Nancy Pelosi. And also the New York Post. What about this one? Where they said something
this
like migrants crying in Mexico as Trump administration cancels all appointments for Biden's CBP1 app immediately. We really need to know that?
And that's the New York Post.
But I mean, come on, get out of here. Yeah. Give me a break if people are crying. Yeah, they're not happy that they can't come in illegally anymore.
Those days are over.
You used to be, you just go on the app, just like you're trying to call an Uber.
Yeah,
and you basically say, U.S. citizenship, here we go. Still U.S. citizenship. I just got an appointment.
Well, and by the way, you've had since November.
Is Siri, turn on location. Hey Siri, how's the weather today?
At the very least, we talk about it off air a lot. Most of the time, Republican, Democrat, you find there's not that much.
Hey Siri, what is the new benefit of AI?
This concept and the perception, that word that Curtis hates, perception of what the border policy is, people get the message. They figure, oh, okay, this guy not into immigration as much, not into illegal immigration. Right. We might as well not.
Hey Siri, what is the AI Apple benefit?
That's why you had a rush across the border when Trump lost in 2020. Exactly. And that's why that rush has happened in the last couple months. You see people trying to make more border crossings in the last couple months. Not as successful, by the way, as they have been, as they thought was coming on January 20th.
Hey Siri, can you also talk or you only text?
We do want to close out by highlighting some of our favorite companies. And let's check in with Helen in Brooklyn.
Hey Siri, can you talk description or you only text?
It's like unprecedented how an inaugural address would have a president that's thematically shredded.
Because I only see
Kamala Harris's policies one after the other, and to watch them sitting there with their faces, I literally had pity for them. I can't even imagine. I don't remember it ever having.
Well, you can make the argument it was done the first time around, but it was.
This is it, Pencit.
The only applause line I saw from them was he talked about the hostages being released from Gaza, right after. There wasn't many other times.
And I think that most of the time the outdoor inauguration is such a wide shot with that large dais that the president is at, that you don't necessarily have the two-shot. Reaction, rolling his eyes, saying, I don't know about that one. That type. Carl is on the east side of Manhattan.
everyone's raw emotions.
Sit and sit.
You know what they stood for. They've taken the actions that they've taken, and everything.
I'm going to get a falafel. I should get a falafel. Do we have a falafel? You want my jacket, baby?
About her hat and the dress. Everything was out to see. It was intimate. It was raw, and it was real. And I think it was fabulous because we are going to be in for a wild ride the next 4 years. I hope it's good, and I hope everything works out. But it was very true and very honest and very real. And I'm astonished. I'm in awe that we're witnessing history. All of us.
Yep, Carl, it's amazing. Good call, Carl. Your thoughts on it?
Yeah, well, I think he's right. It was raw, and it was raw because of those moments where he said, "I'm shredding everything you did over the last 4 years," and the person who was there in charge of everything is sitting 5 feet away from him.
And I just don't think you can possibly divorce from the moment or the imagery of it the fact that there was such an attempt, rightly, wrongly, landed, didn't land, to make the events of January 6th, 2021 a major focus point of the campaign. And the fact that Trump is sworn in that same rotunda, where you had all the chaos and the broken windows,
Delivery.
banners and all this kind of thing, not but 4 years ago. That, as much as anything, is a very unique American.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. This would be a comeback that we probably will never see in the lifetime again.
So we'll see. We might have some chance to talk to you, the listeners, a little bit more here. 1-800-848-9222. He's known lady. I'm James Flippin. Our moments. Analysis of the favorite moments in the speech when we come back on the Red Zone Show.
As we begin 2025,
Estimated time in traffic, 13 minutes.
what's your plan if you ever face a situation that demands personal protection? Meet the Burner Less Lethal Launcher. The Burner Launcher offers a powerful, non-lethal
In 300 feet, turn right on West 37th Street.
and kinetic rounds. It has a 60-foot range, giving you the ability to stop without deadly force. Learn how to use the Burner Less Lethal Launcher, and it's fantastic. With Burner, you gain confidence and peace of mind knowing you're prepared to protect yourself and your loved ones. I have a wife, 2 children. I want to keep them safe. And you face the life-altering consequences of using a firearm when a less lethal alternative can provide
What's going on?
Burner is legal in all 50 states. Background check, permits, and it's just right here. Trusted by over 500 government agencies, police departments, and private security firms.
Turn right on West 37th Street.
What's going on? The heck is this truck? Delivery. The heck is going on? This is it. Something going on. What's going on? I don't know. open the door.
With wind chills in the single digits at times. A code blue alert is in effect, which makes more places available for the homeless to warm up. The city has suspended alternate side parking for Tuesday. Cecile Richards, former president of Planned Parenthood, has died at age 67. She died Monday of an aggressive brain cancer, according to a statement from her family. Richards was one of the United States' most prominent family activists and abortion rights advocates, as the daughter of a former Democratic Texas senator. A typed early draft of the lyrics to Bob Dylan's Mr. Tambourine Man has sold for $508,000 at auction Sunday. Tammy Trujillo has the story.
Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. I'm not crazy, and there is no place I'm going to.
The lyrics were tossed in a trash can by Dylan back in 1964 after he spent the night writing them at rock journalist Al Aronowitz' New Jersey home. Aronowitz rescued them and passed them down to his children when he died in 2005. Other Dylan items were also up for sale, including a Fender Telecaster guitar that fetched more than $220,000, and an abstract oil painting by Dylan that sold for $260,000.
Do you know what to
I'm Tammy Trujillo.
Want to meet Sid? Now's your chance. Come to the studios and be a part of Sid and Friends Live on January 28th. That's right, a special live Sid and Friends in the morning show to benefit Shriners Children's Hospital. There will be a special meet and greet with Sid, including a photo op. All participants get a Love to the Rescue blanket and other special gifts. for a donation to WABC Radio Foundation of $225 to benefit Shriners Children's, you can come to the WABC studios, hang out with Sid, and watch Sid and Friends in the Morning live. Who knows who else might be there? Curtis Lewa, Frank Morano. Only 40 people can fit in Studio 77. So if you want to come to the WABC studios and watch a show live to benefit Shriners Children's Hospital, go to WABCRadio.com/live show, donate, and you're in. See you at the station on January 28th, WABCRadio.com/live show. The 57 WABC News Time is 3:00.
Shop 800 Fords, like 2025 Ford Explorer. Lease $289 a month, 24 months, zero security, $46.39 due at signing. DanaFordDeals.com. Details at Dana Ford, Staten Island.
Delivery credit. Dealer retains Ford rebate. Expires 2/2/25. Coming up at 3:55 p.m. Listen to Dominic Carter for the Tunnel of Towers Foundation Dominic's Final Thoughts on 77 WABC.
Hey, it's Joe Piscopo. Join me for Boulevard Sundays with Sinatra. This Sunday night, starting at 6, it's Francis Albert Sinatra, and I'm honored to play his music, share some stories, and just swing, baby.
77 WABC News. Just the facts.
77 WABC chime time is 3:05. In sports, the Knicks just underway against the Atlanta Hawks. This evening, the Islanders will be skating against the Blue Jackets. Your forecast for the rest of this afternoon, mainly sunny skies, high of 28 degrees. Tonight, partly
Where is my
cloudy
coffee,
and bitter
baby?
with a low down to
No
13
coffee for me?
degrees. Tomorrow looks mostly cloudy with a high of 23 degrees. Wednesday, mainly sunny, but again, the high only 23. We have 26 degrees, mostly clear outside our Midtown studios. I'm Lisa Ritchie. Remember, the news never stops at WABCRadio.com.
From New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
A new day in America. Dominic Carter here with you. The number to reach me this hour, 800-848-9222 on this historic Inauguration Day. President Trump says he wants to be a peacemaker and unifying.
I'm Trump, do solemnly swear. I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute. The office of President of the United States. The office of President of the United States. And will, to the best of my ability. And will, to the best of my ability. Preserve, protect, and defend. Preserve, protect, and defend. The Constitution of the United States. The Constitution of the United States. So help me God. So help me God. Congratulations, Mr. President.
Congratulations, baby. Congratulations.
And it was Gary Underwood, the performer, the entertainer, that even when there was a technical mistake, Gary Underwood came through with America the Beautiful.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of rain, for purple mountain masses above the fruited plain.
America, baby. America. Delivery.
And declaring from the president, that is, that it's Liberation Day in America and a revolution of common sense, things that we desperately need. Those were some of the themes in the president's address, stating that the official U.S. policy, either you're male or you are female.
Delivery.
He also at one point thanked minority communities for his historic support that he received. Trump vowing, the President of the United States of America, vowing America's decline is over, adding this.
Just a few months ago in a beautiful Pennsylvania field, an assassin's bullet ripped through my ear. But I felt then, and believe even more so now, that my life was saved for a reason. I was saved by God to make America great again.
And it appears indeed that's the case. We will be going to your live telephone calls in just a moment. So what can we expect to see later on today? The President of the United States of America signing in numerous executive orders, according to the Fox News channel.
The crowd starting to fill in here at Capital One Arena, where we expect upwards of 20,000 people to be on hand here later today when President Trump arrives. And I'm told by a Trump administration official that when Trump gets here, he will be signing a handful of executive orders at this arena in front of this crowd. Take a look. Right over my shoulder here, you'll see they got a little desk set up for him on stage here to sign those orders. You can imagine how crazy this crowd is going to go when he makes some of those announcements. What's he going to talk about? I'm told by Trump administration officials 10 of his executive orders today will be border-related, one of which very significant. He's going to announce a federal deployment of U.S. troops to the southern border under U.S. Northern Command. That's what we're expecting today. President Trump won't get here until later this afternoon. There is a massive line of people waiting to get in here. It snakes as far as the eye can see down multiple city blocks.
And if you think our president is playing around, he has already shut down the app that allows migrants to legally apply to enter the U.S. and has canceled all future appointments. It is the right message to send. This, as far as I'm concerned, President Biden has disgraced the office on his last day, giving pardons to 5 members of his family in his final minutes in office, emphasizing he did not believe his family did anything wrong. But according to former President Biden, he feared political attacks by Trump. So blanket pardon for his brother James, which means that the family influence peddling investigation, that's gone for good. Pardons for Anthony Fauci, Mark Milley, the general, and also the January 6th committee members, Liz Cheney, and a few others. So it is a big, big news day. And let's start with your telephone call. Kathleen in Pennsylvania. Kathleen, what's on your mind?
Dominic, this is the first time I smiled in years. We have a new president. There is hope for all of us. I just wanted to express my joy for our new president.
Agreed. I agree with you, Kathleen. But, you know, I just don't understand why we always have to be a country of conflict and divide, splitting the country. And thank you for your wonderful call, Kathleen. You should feel wonderful on this day, as well as everyone within the sound of my voice. But when I say divide and conquer, so it's a great day for the country. I know half the country.
משיח, 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 איי, 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 איי. משיח, 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 איי, 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 איי. One tomato coming up, people, one tomato coming up. Thank you everybody for sticking around. Love you long time. See you tomorrow. Peace and love, peace and love. Donald Trump is the president. Whole food. Whole food. אין מניאק של הפוד. Thank you everybody. See you tomorrow. Peace and love, peace and love. Short day. Short and sweet, short and sweet. Take care everybody. Michael. Sally Scorpio, my dear love, Sally Scorpio. We love you long time. See you tomorrow.